Hello, I'm Tom West, your guide on this Lean Six Sigma journey. As a master black belt, I've helped individuals and teams just like yours define problems and make meaningful improvements together. We'll explore the steps of a project slowly, clearly, and in a way that you can absorb even as you rest. Welcome to the first step of defining your Lean Six Sigma project. Before we dive into problems and solutions, let's start with some relaxing breaths. Find a position where your body feels supported, sitting or lying down, whichever feels best. Gently close your eyes. Bring your attention to your breath. Take a slow, deep breath in and hold it for a moment, and then exhale gently with a breath, letting go of any tension. Again, breathe slowly, filling your lungs completely, and exhale, releasing stress and opening your mind to learning with a long, slow breath out, letting your body relax. Notice your shoulders. Let them drop and soften. Notice your hands, your arms relaxing completely. With each breath, allow your mind to become calm, and with each breath, try to let yourself sink deeper into relaxation. Pause for a few moments, letting the sense of calm spread from your head to your toes. When you feel settled and relaxed, we will begin our journey exploring how to define a Lean Six Sigma project clearly, calmly, and with purpose. That we are in a comfortable, relaxed state of mind and are ready to learn, let's start with exploring the question why projects matter. Every improvement project should connect to the organization's mission and its larger goals. Think about the purpose of the organization, the reason it exists, and what it wants to achieve. As you listen, imagine yourself seeing the organization's goal clearly, like a guiding light. The projects that don't connect to this mission can drift off course, wasting time and energy. So, your first task is to understand the strategy, the big picture, and where improvements are most needed. Pause for a moment and picture this in your own workplace. The goals that matter most. By keeping the why in mind, every decision, every project will have direction and purpose. Now, with the mission clear in your mind, before choosing a project, it helps to see the big picture. Take a moment and imagine the entire organization as one connected system. Each department, each team, and every process plays a part in achieving the mission. Some processes are fast, some are slow, some work perfectly, while others create challenges. When you step back and look at the whole system, patterns begin to appear. Think about how one process can affect many others, like a ripple in water. By seeing the big picture, you can identify areas where improvement will have the greatest impact. This perspective guides you toward projects that truly matter. Pause for a moment and picture your own workplace and how all the pieces fit together. Notice where small changes could create big improvements. With the big picture clear, we are ready to identify specific projects that help achieve the strategy. It's time to identify projects that move the organization closer to its goals. Start by listening to the people, the operators, the ones who do the work every day. They often see opportunities that are not obvious from the top. Every suggestion, every observation is a clue to a meaningful project. Next, consider the organization's strategy and ask yourself which opportunities align with these goals. Not every idea will be a project, and not every project will have the same impact. Project selection is about choosing the work that matters most. Think about impact and feasibility. Impact, how much the project improves the process or benefits the customer. Feasibility, how realistic it is to achieve results with the resources available. Pause for a moment and picture your own team choosing a project that will make a real difference. When you select the right project with clear scope and purpose, you set the stage for success. With the project chosen and the scope defined, we are ready to define the problem and create a goal statement. Now that your project is selected, it's time to define it clearly. Start with a business case, the reason this project matters to the organization. Think about the numbers, the costs, the delays, or the resources being used. Pause and imagine how improving this process could save time, money, or effort. Consider the human case, the impact on the people involved. How does the process affect employees, customers, or patients? In our example, the hospital staff and patients. Picture the stress, the delays, the frustrations, and imagine the relief when the process works smoothly. Now, combine these insights into a clear problem statement. The problem statement describes what is happening today without assigning blame. Keep it simple, specific, and focused on the process. For example, patients are waiting too long to be discharged, causing stress for staff and delayed care for patients. With the problem defined, it's time to create a goal statement. The goal statement describes what success looks like in measurable terms. It answers the question, how will we know we have improved? For example, reduce average patient discharge time from 6 hours to 4 hours within 3 months. Picture this improvement, how it feels, how it benefits everyone. By defining both the problem and the goal, you create clarity, focus, and direction for the entire project. With this foundation, the team can move forward confidently, knowing what they are trying to achieve. With the problem and goal clearly defined, the next step is selecting your team. Think of a project team as a small group of guides helping the project move forward. Choose people who understand the process and those who will be affected by the change. Include a mix of skills, knowledge, and perspectives. Operators who do the work, managers who oversee it, and sometimes those who support it from other areas. Each team member has a unique role and a voice that matters. Pause for a moment and picture your ideal team working together calmly toward the same goal. It's also important to clarify roles and responsibilities. Who will lead the team? Who will track the numbers? Who will communicate progress? When everyone understands their role, the team works smoothly and avoids confusion. Finally, remember the value of collaboration. Encourage team members to share observations, ask questions, and offer ideas. This shared effort builds understanding, trust, and engagement. With the right team in place, your project is ready to move forward with clarity and purpose. Once your team is formed, it's important to set the stage for success. Start by establishing ground rules. Simple agreements on how the team will work together. Rules like listening to each other, speaking respectfully, and staying focused on the goal. Pause. And imagine the team agreeing calmly to these shared principles. Next, consider the support the team will need from leaders and project sponsors. Strong leadership ensures the team has resources, guidance, and the freedom to make progress. Sponsors provide encouragement, remove obstacles, and help maintain focus on the project's purpose. Visualize your sponsor gently supporting the team without taking over. High-performing teams thrive when expectations are clear, communication is open, and every member feels valued. Encourage regular check-ins to review progress, celebrate small wins, and adjust when needed. Remember, effective leadership and engaged sponsorship make the difference between a good team and a great team. I'll pause for a moment and picture your team aligned, confident, and ready to tackle the project with clarity. With these foundations, the team is prepared to move forward and begin understanding the process in detail. Now that your team is ready, it's time to see the process at a high level. A helpful tool for this is a process overview map called SIPOC. SIPOC. It stands for suppliers, inputs, process, outputs, and customers. Pause and imagine each of these as pieces of a puzzle coming together to show the full picture. Suppliers provide the resources, information, or materials needed. Inputs are what goes into the process, the starting point for work. The process is the series of steps that transform inputs into outputs. Outputs are the results, the products or services delivered, and customers are the people or departments who receive the outputs and are affected by them. Creating a SIPOC map helps the team understand how work flows, where handoffs occur, and where challenges may exist. Pause and picture the process from start to finish in your mind's eye. You don't need every detail, just the high-level view. So this perspective allows the team to focus on the areas that matter most and see how changes might ripple through the system. With the SIPOC map, the team now has a clear understanding of the process and can begin to identify opportunities for improvement. Now that the process is mapped at a high level, it's time to understand how it performs today. We do this by looking at performance measures, also called baseline metrics. These are the numbers that describe the current state of the process. Pause and imagine the current process in your mind, step by step, and the time, the effort, or the errors at each step. Collecting these metrics helps the team see where improvement is needed most. It also provides a starting point so that later we can measure progress. Think about measuring things like cycle time, defects, customer satisfaction, or any indicator that matters to the process. Remember, the goal is not to overwhelm, but to create clarity. Pause and picture the numbers, gently showing the story of the current process. With baseline metrics in place, the team can see clearly what's working and what needs attention. This understanding forms the foundation for meaningful improvement. With baseline metrics in hand, it's time to think about the people involved, the stakeholders. Stakeholders are anyone who is affected by or can influence the project. Pause and picture all the people, departments, and teams connected to the process. Some stakeholders provide support, some need information, and some are impacted by changes. Effective engagement starts with understanding their needs, concerns, and expectations. Communicate clearly and consistently so everyone knows what's happening and why it matters. Involve stakeholders early and listen to their insights. Even small suggestions can reveal important opportunities. Pause and imagine yourself sharing progress, answering questions, and welcoming feedback. When stakeholders feel heard, respected, and informed, they become allies, not obstacles. This support strengthens the team and ensures the project moves forward smoothly. With engaged stakeholders, your team has the guidance, collaboration, and momentum to achieve success. Now that you understand your stakeholders, it's time to plan how to communicate with them. Effective communication ensures everyone stays informed, aligned, and engaged. Start by thinking about what information needs to be shared and how often. Pause and imagine the updates flowing smoothly without overwhelming anyone. Decide the best methods: meetings, emails, dashboards, or brief check ins. Tailor the communication to each stakeholder based on their role, influence, and interest. Remember, clarity is key. Keep messages simple, focused, and consistent. Pause and picture yourself sharing updates, answering questions, and welcoming feedback. Good communication builds trust, encourages collaboration, and helps the team move forward confidently. With a communication plan in place, everyone knows what to expect, and the project can progress smoothly. Now, with your team formed, stakeholders engaged, and communication planned, it's time to take the first steps in executing the project. Now that your team is ready, stakeholders are engaged, and communication is planned, it's time to take the first steps in the project. Start by reviewing the problem and goal statements. Make sure everyone on the team understands what you are trying to achieve. Next, assign initial tasks, small steps that move the project forward. Each step should be clear, manageable, and focused on progress. Pause and imagine the team working together calmly, taking these first steps. Encourage collaboration, sharing observations, asking questions, and supporting each other. Celebrate small wins as they happen. Even minor progress reinforces confidence and builds momentum. Remember, the journey begins with these first steps: steady, deliberate, and purposeful. Pause and picture your team moving forward in alignment toward the goal. With these first steps complete, the project is in motion and the team is ready to explore the process in more detail. As the project moves forward, your role as a guide becomes important. Encourage the team to be reflective, taking time to notice what is working and what could improve. Pause and imagine gently asking, "What did we learn from this step?" Foster curiosity, invite questions, explore new ideas, and consider alternative approaches. Picture the team thinking creatively, imagining possibilities without fear of making mistakes. Be adaptive, willing to adjust the plan, respond to new information, and embrace change. Pause and imagine yourself supporting the team, calmly helping them navigate challenges. Remind the team that improvement is a journey, not a race. Reflection, curiosity, and adaptability guide them toward meaningful progress. With these principles in mind, the team can work confidently, collaboratively, and effectively. Now, take a moment to pause and reflect. Think about the project we explored, from understanding the mission to selecting the right project, forming the team, And planning communication, a pause, and imagine the process clearly, step by step. Picture your team working together with clarity, curiosity, and focus. Consider what you have learned and how you might apply it in your own work. Pause and notice how it feels to have a clear goal and a path to achieve it. Invite yourself to stay curious, reflective, and open to new ideas. Allow this awareness to guide your actions. Even after this session ends, take a deep breathe in and a slow breath out. Let yourself absorb the knowledge and insight calmly, fully, as you continue to relax. Let these thoughts settle and prepare to listen to the soothing sounds that follow